said that he would not coerced by others use given pronouns. He didn't say he wouldn't do it. He just said he wouldn't have other people tell him to do it. And then people lost their shit on him, and now it's like, yeah,
I thought it was
you know,
more that the Canadian government was trying to pass a law, you know, to
yeah,
all that someone super manual.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so he had a problem with this. He asked for
yeah,
it. And a lot of people, they like got terribly angry. And then because it wasn't that he wouldn't do it, he just didn't want the word
yeah.
these people that are angry at him? Oh no, they just perceived it. I thought
Still,
yeah. And then he was like, no, but then maybe it's kind of accepted it because someone was accepting it and we went into that and it's called
saying he wasn't sure divorce.
yeah, yeah, and that, yeah, and he's not. I think unfortunately now he's pandering to that audience, and it's like, you know, yeah, it's not. He doesn't. I don't think he understands that the impact where some idiot will take that of like, oh, so I should just not care about social media. It's like,
I feel like I was talking to a lot of nuance and then I got misunderstood and I should have been like, wow, be careful.
yeah.
But he just started pandering to that.
Yeah, he had a good message. He talked about the thing that thing that freaks out about clean your room. It's like, no, just like get organized so that you know the problems you have could be less and less so that they don't explode. But then he goes to talk about absolutes in marriage and other stuff like that. And it's like, look, man, we get you're a psychologist, but you don't know everything.
Just like all of those making money off big tech pays people to say crap.
Yeah, and I feel like he's just so inflammatory. And the suits too are, I feel like, are incredible.
Yeah. Well, this is why I don't have I have an amateur podcast that's not that good. I'm so sick of seeing negative, non-helpful relationship advice. Like it just seems
Not
like
too
every
much,
channel I watch,
Byron's almost retired.
everyone's talking smack about
Just
each other.
working
They're not actually
part-time
talking
over
about
at
realistic things about like
the
sharing your
Goodwill
responsibilities at home,
warehouse
like
in
conversations
their
about
book
kids
operation.
and you know your
So
like
he's doing that, and you know me, I'm just writing and going along.
yeah, the videos that are most viral are like.
No,
let's
I've got
talk
a
smack
manuscript
about
ready to go, but I haven't got it together yet. Thanks for asking, Yolanda. Thank you.
It's not about what's true.
Cara evaporates.
So
After all the spontaneous.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
that's why we come to poetry. Maybe you'll hear some truth.
Jerry, I need to adjust the angle on that camera a little bit.
Oh, we're on camera. Okay, we're on camera.
For the stage.
Are we streaming? We're streaming.
We're about there.
Pardon?
Cara and I would actually maybe like a chair to sit in up there. So
Oh, okay.
get her the bed.
You want
Can lower the
you want the panel bench? You want a little cushion for it?
No, I don't need a cushion.
All right.
Why not the chair?
I need a cushion, but
What about these? This sort of chair.
Chair
Is
might be
this
easier,
good?
yeah.
What about this side? Too high?
Is that too high, Cara? A stool?
I don't know.
Here,
What do we
I'm
usually
showing.
sit
She
on?
wants to sit on the.
Would you like to sit on this, the piano
Oh,
bench,
the piano bench
a
looks
chair
pretty.
like that?
The piano bench looks awesome.
Yeah? Okay.
Sure.
Pull the piano bench up a little bit. We'll give it a cushion.
La da 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 da.
I'm not sure. What do I usually sit on?
Da, 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 da.
I bet that would work. Okay. You want to set this back there for one just all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I forget, but I think I do have it. I don't like to sit on it. I don't
Do, do, do.
adjust.
Ba. Hello. 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 Talk like this. This is how I usually sound. I think. Yes, I sound this way all the time. I don't know what sounding different would be. Tell us a story. What do you think this is? Yes. Okay, all right. So welcome to the Burton Beckett first Thursday of the month reading. That's the only reading we have these days. And but we've been going on since 2000 or so. So that's a good thing. Everybody knows where to find us, right? I don't know. Eric's running things, not me. So anyway, we have Cara, Vida, and Jessica Loos. And let's see. I guess I could go on a bit, but out of pure civility and good manners, we'll introduce Cara first. And Cara is another one of those MCs, right? She puts on a great show. If you ever been to her digs on Linden Alley, where I used to live, down the street there by Laguna, and it's a real theater, and it's a real hangout, and her events are always over the top, and she never lets it get out of hand, but it's always a lot of fun. Yes, right. But I mean, Cara's in the writing scene for so long, it's like all of us, so she has her story to tell as well as ours. Let's give a warm welcome to Cara, Vida. Okay, I'll help you adjust the seat.
Okay, that's awesome. We'll just take our time. Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello. Sounds all right?
Alrighty. I have an intro. I have OLD, not STD, DMT, LSD, TNT, LED, DDT, or CBD. Nope. OLD. Old. 78 and a half years. OLD. It's a condition. It's chronic. It is terminal. Here's the deal. Everyone gets OLD if they live long enough. Outcome, RIP. C'est la vie, obadi, obada, life goes on, brah. And there you go. It's great to be here. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Eric, for keeping the carnival going. Thank you, Jessica, for inviting me to read. We did a 2 out of 3, flip the lucky dime from a friend of ours. She didn't know the hell we were doing, I'm telling you. So that's how we decided who was going to go first. And then I couldn't figure out what the hell is the difference between going first and second. But whatever the hell it is, it's great to be here. All right, I have to start something right off the bat. I have to get it out of the way. I have to get something said. It's an opinion. My opinion concerning Maui wildfire. Yeah, it was wild, all right. Gave me a 9/11 deja vu vibe. Nothing was making sense in my head. So I donned my tinfoil chapeau, hopped on the YouTubes, and took a long trip down the conspiracy rabbit hole. It's dark down there. Needed to shed some light. Make it make sense. Put 2 and 2 together. Didn't add up. All move along. Don't question authority. No narrative necessary. No comment. I followed the money. No surprises there. All the same corrupt players bought and paid for. Amidst the billionaires club and the celebrities, their little private paradise playground they got going. Connected the dots, geoengineering, direct energy weapons. Make it make sense. I think I got the big picture. Looked as though a bomb had gone off in Lahaina. Remember the war on poverty? Remember the war on drugs? How about the war on terror? Fast forward present day. It is war on humanity. My opinion. We are living in wartime. The devastating Maui fire was orchestrated, done by design. The ruling elite have agendas. Had to get those pesky people living in Lahaina out of the way. No warning siren, no water in the hydrants, roads blocked, no way out, people burned alive, land grab, 15-minute cities, 21st century colonialism. You will own nothing and be happy. The federal government, the powers that be, does not give a flying fuck about you or me, and I mean nobody. Methinks there are many people who are eager to be deceived. They simply want to get on with their lives, and who can blame them? The horror of all of this whole setup is too painful to be believed, and that's my opinion. Got that out of the way. Look, up in the sky. It's a weather balloon, a meteor, a Chinese lantern, it's Planet X, an orb, swamp gas, a flying squirrel. Look, up in the sky. It's Guadalupe descending from the heavens. It's a hologram. It's a false flag alien invasion, a modern day War of the Worlds. It's the Goodyear blimp. Look, up in the sky. Oh my, a pterodactyl from another dimension. Project Blue Beam, it's a solar eclipse, a rocket launch, a comet, a mothership, a chemtrail, a cloud. It's Mothman. Look up in the cloud. It's the Big Dipper. It's an asteroid heading straight towards us. It's a glitz in the Matrix. A flying pig, a drone, tornado, a witch on a broomstick, a double sun. Look up in the sky. It's space debris, the northern lights, a band of angels, a bat. Look up in the sky. It's only a paper moon. The lightning sprites. It's shooting stars. It's a laser art installation. It's toxic smoke from a chemical fire. It's the spiders from Mars. Look up in the sky. Is the sky falling? Was Chicken Little right? Look up in the sky. Is it the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse? Is it an illusion? Look up in the sky, faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, Superman. Strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. What? Listen. Are you listening? Open your ears. Real life returns. Has fast last word like you've never heard before. Wham! What the hell? Old illusions lost in translation. Time traveling, just another gig, over and done. Musicians moved like automatons, methodically packing away instruments. They have done it hundreds of times. Seasoned night owls, every one. They took flight as the crow flies to familiar after-hour haunts, where the night is still young. Spoiler alert! Father does not know best. The other shoe dropped a long time ago. All good deeds are not punished. Cash is not king, and political agendas are not hidden. Spoiler alert! You can't fool the subconscious, and everything does not happen for a reason. Spoiler alert! The old dog learned new tricks. The check is not in the mail. Help is not on the way. And everything that can be done is not being done. And everything will not be just fine. Spoiler alert. The circus is not coming to town. There is no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Curiosity did not kill the cat. Love is not blind. Love does not conquer all. And the cloud has no silver lining. Spoiler alert, oh no. The magic carpet rests on the floor, all faded and threadbare. Isn't going anywhere soon. Lady Fortuna is on the lam. King Cobra bit the charmer. The wolf no longer howls at the moon. Tarzan and Jane left the jungle and moved to the burbs. Silverfish feasted on war and peace, relishing every word. And the superhero lost their nerve. Let's see here. I think, oh God, I gotta do it. I just gotta do it. I gotta read a couple of haiku, and then I got one short one. I gotta read a couple of haiku. I can't help it. Not to be rude, but please don't trauma dump on me. Have my own problems. Nope, you can't push me. I'm already over the edge, in the abyss. In this brave new world, artists make it possible to remain human. In San Francisco, fentanyl smells like death, looks like genocide. At the open mic, poet had nervous breakdown. No one notices. Make choice to see love, and I say to myself, what a beautiful world. And finishing it up with, be afraid, be very afraid. They are all bumping around in the night. Shapeshifters and shadow people play hide and seek. Boogeyman is in the closet trying on your clothes. Ghosties and poltergeists play a high-spirited game of charades. Hidden in the walls, supernatural beings mix, mingle, and schmooze. All bumping around in the night. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Figments of imagination linger in shadows. Gremlins and dust bunnies play tag under the bed. Hobgoblins and imps do-si-do under the floorboards. Damn, it's a wingding going on. All bumping around in the night. Weird, itty-bitty critters skitter across the ceiling. Hundreds of them. Back and forth, to and fro they go. Always ready for a party. Raccoons are thumping around in the attic. And lo and behold, a little green man peeps in the bedroom window. Be afraid, be very afraid. Put the covers over your head, curl up in a fetal position, try and get some sleep. It's been a real pleasure being here. And I'm looking forward to the open mic. I always hear new people. So again, thank you, Eric. Thank you, Jessica. And thank you all for being here. Thank you.
Brian, Jessica.
Oh, you're gonna sit on that chair?
You know, I don't know.
You don't know yet, but you'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out. We're gonna put it there in case. We'll just. Yes. Come on up, and then Jerry will introduce you
Yeah.
after we get you adjusted.
I
How's
might
that?
be more comfortable. I'll see in a minute. So do I usually do this?
I don't. Does it feel like it's what you usually do?
I don't remember.
That works well.
That looks better.
I
All right.
think that's it.
I think this is it. I think it's fine.
We didn't give Cara a cushion. We're going to give you a cushion to make up for the fact that we didn't give one to Cara.
Oh, really?
We're sorry.
You asked? Oh,
I can just, all right, it makes me a little taller, I guess.
there you go.
I used to have to drive on a phone book when I first got my license. It's true. Oh.
Okay, let me introduce you.
Oh shit, I forgot all about that. All right, I'll just stand back here.
Okay, so
And I'm gonna go formal staging.
so Jessica Loos, some people sort of call her the Bill Graham of North Beach. You know, she puts on a great show, and she's a great MC herself, and a really good organizer up there for a lot of cultural, literary events, and so on. Nobody like her, so okay, Jessica, come on now. Is this your new book, Jessica?
Yeah, well, this is like the first version of it, but it's gonna be more of a book when it goes to an actual press shortly. So many of these poems, some of you in the audience have heard before, because I'm working on editing them. So I'm reading them a little bit differently all the time to see how exactly I want them. So here I go. Straw. What about the sky? She wears a big straw hat. Imagine her small star cloud. And what about the hat? She wears a small straw cloud, so picture the big star sky. Oh, what about the cloud? She has a small sky hat. Go look at her big straw star. Breakfast. Bodega ate coyote and the polka dot gum. Bang! Blow cotton mouth onto a drum. There's gloom in the room like chocolate. Learn Denver is red. Butterflies in toast. Untitled Blue. Lorca tap danced under a willow tree with words, and Rimbaud was blue with his fun nose and a tin shoe, but because he liked beer, Bukowski was a postman. Axe number 1. He tweaks on the mouthpiece all day and washes his thing in the sink. He calls the horn bitch, then chews on a stupid reed. Axe number 2. He bends down, scoops up the air with his horn and shovels dirt. His reed gets him on the way back up. He growls arg and keeps on playing. Axe number 3. His back arches like a turtle, its shell about to snap. Compared to the speed of his fingers, he plays atonal blues. Acoustics bounce back at him. Embouchure wins. All right. Drop. In wet hills, when the moss drips away, meridians of unicorns dip into the fauvist sea of black salt and pepper fog. The flat rocks drip into the ocean, too, like frozen water, chipping away the waves with resistance. The wind cries to come back, but the starfish and the kelp will not have her, and the seagulls do not know the difference. I don't feel like reading these. "33. Eyes splinter into bird feet, black on 2 chipped teeth and spider's weave below one knee. The body canvas, a fruit pit. 33. Food stays on, friends die, my face sags like a drinker." Garden, for Tony Vaughn. After a joint of roaches, the grass just is. We move our chairs near the rusted stream drain that billows down. Inside a butterfly is a bearded elf. Psst. Unicorns are roses on the outside. Ladybugs fence for children. Shh. The snail is a camel on a worm, leaving a trail in white light in the top of day in San Francisco.
When did you write this?
A long time ago. when he was still alive. Actually, I think, yeah.
That's about that place he had on Trail Hill?
Yeah. Ravens of Juno. They come in spring and fly in a blue artbrit sky. They use the wind to fixate, to heckle the duende. So much for Amaya, Lorca, and Isadora. The ravens are Messiaen's silent prayer. They are the dark spot that dances on Cecil Taylor's anorexic heart. Okay, and now I am going to, like Cara, read some haikus. So, I don't like long poems. Fuck it, the long odyssey. I like to write haiku. If I cared, I'd say, it doesn't matter anyway, things just fall down. I saw the monster going past Loch Ness on a train. He was purple mist. My friends all have cars. I have 2 feet in a bag. They never drive me. 6 fish swim the same. Their tails sway back and forth. They're in a school. Don't assemble in lines to try to find a better way. Be more like water. I had a tiny wagon. It was empty all day long. Things were red, that's all. When the man was young, his rooster didn't cock-a-doodle at all. Nude girls like to pose. They are naked sex ideas. Their mouths are hot pink. Friends are just portraits, black, white, painted pictures. The backgrounds are gone. Hashish is haiku. It bends the mind into warp. The train inside burns. The alphabet is alone, just a child with parts. It needs some guidance. Puffing with the wind, drifting by in the blue sky, clouds have their own ideas. Waves crash the pale beach. The clam before the storm couldn't back up then. Beware of givers, don't take their wooden nickels, money trickles up.
What do you call that?
What? I don't know. Those eyes were sad, wild. I could tell his hair was black when he still had it. And that's enough of those. Okay. The Adirondacks. The clouds are black, but rain is an illusion. The green tennis ball rests in still dry grass by the placid lake. The small child skips alone, looking for the ball. Nobody wants to play. Her curls droop. Never mind that one. Harbor. The dock is creaking. All the boats are leaving soon. Crab season is here. Gulls squawk in the sky. The dock is still creaking. A seal just popped up. Tambourine. Love is like a shadow coming out from under the sun. It juts out into the sky and steeps the day in shade. Before the cactus sinks into the ground, go prick your finger. The sun is a pink banjo on the streets of Brooklyn. Where is my tambourine? The flowers are dead. The water is all gone. Pussy goes dry. The sun is not coming. Before the cactus sinks into the ground, go prick your finger. Seagirt. It was Seagirt, New Jersey. It's Senator Pat Dodd's across from the ocean that I first watched my father and some other guy play chess. I jumped up out of the velvet chair, got a bowl of vanilla ice cream, topped it with creme de menthe. I slurped it. That was the day that we had to crack the lobster with the green Pontiac. and I slept in a canopy bed, crashing with waves, checking out. Lena of Estonia, European child chess champion, gave her moves up for poker. It was in the cards, and it wasn't the lobster's hand. Okay. Okay, I don't know what to read now. I don't feel like doing that one. Why not? I'll read Road Trip to Joshua Tree just because I like it. Okay, Road Trip to Joshua Tree. We drove out of San Francisco on a foggy, hungover morning, leaving the sinking millennium and the erecting Salesforce behind for the warmth of desert sun and seasonal flower bloom. We don't stop till Bakersfield, the birthplace of Buck Owens, Merle Haggard, Dwight Yoakam, smoke-filled honky-tonk sounds from Dust Bowl Okie descendants. Mama tried to raise me better. There's a dusty man at the bottom of the exit ramp panhandling. He holds a cardboard sign that says anything at all. Mama tried. We get gas and 2 donuts and get back on the road, plowing through the Central Valley. Asparagus, apricot, alfalfa, arugula, big lots of figs and nuts. That's why the fruit fell. The greening of America, roadside farm stands, Mexican workers in tinted window pickup trucks, hot tamales, tomatoes, GMO corn. There are too many American flags and campaign signs for Trump on tin roof shacks on the side of the highway, and a statue of a dinosaur by the tin roof shacks on the side of the highway. We cruise through the national park straight away. When we get there, only a few red-blooming cactuses, some buttercups. It's windy. The dead Joshua trees on the ground are skeletons, but Mama tried. There are 2 black caterpillars, a butterfly. I eat a bologna sandwich and get scolded for walking off on my own. We'd had our fill of nature, went to the hotel surrounded by an asphalt parking lot and a pool that overlooked the asphalt parking lot. We drink wine in rickety lawn chairs, watch a mourning dove and her baby on a wire. He was sitting in the shade. I was blinded in the sunlight. The born-again hall next door has a picture of Jesus that says, Jesus saves. We go into town where a man on a wall drinks a bottle in a bag, asking for money for another. You got a quarter for a drink? Then he asks my friend, you're Indian, ain't you? Aren't we all? Who do you run into in the desert? Flies buzz around his head. We get back in the car and followed signs for a yard sale down a washboard road. More tin roof shacks. Keep following the signs. Turn right, Jesus saves. Turn left, Jesus saves. Turn right, turn left, Jesus saves. Real garage stuff. Kids' bikes, cast iron pots and pans, rusty watches, a red wheelbarrow I can depend on. Later he will tell me your dwarf domestic feminine skills are ridiculous. On the way out the next day, there's a dead coyote on the side of the road, more flies, more tin roof shacks. Jesus saves. We stop in San Miguel for the night, the only restaurant in town, a Mexican joint, closed at 8. Life outside the big city. I got drunk in the hotel parking lot full of migrant workers and talk on my phone. Connor the antique dealer is dead. Jack Mueller is dying. We need to eat fried chicken, but we go to the old mission instead to smell the red roses by the old wine press and notice the anti-abortion sign in the bushes. Jesus saves. Mama tried. I'll take anything at all. Okay. I'll just do a couple more short ones. Okay, the Alphabet Museum for David Meltzer. That place you dig, where one finds words, letters on letters, bold consonants, secret vowels, A-E-I-O. You swing from Brady Bunch to bebop, Delchinsky to Stravinsky, Lester No Eyes to hip-hop, boom, 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 room to Judy Blume, two-way mirror clearer, and all the way back, be-da-bop, be-da-bop, be-da-boop, be-da-boop, be-da-boop. Gave you a Valentine in your box next to mine, alphabetical order, A, B, C, D, E, F, llama moop, llama moop. Every time I see you, it said, I want to give you a bath. ooh la sud suds. We made out in specks, wine glasses of letters on letters, the alphabet museum, that place you dig. I want a bath, beat a boop. And then okay, aphorisms. I am Einstein. Where is my phone? I looked like a monster. I could just see myself. His echo punches the beauty inside me. I can't stand the thought of not fucking you anymore. I want the music that doesn't hold sound. Someone stole my fucking tambourine. The walls fall into concrete rivers during every dream. All the clouds have teeth. I was fine right up until the very end. And that's the end.
Well, so there we have it. Some of the real stuff, right? All right. Thank you.
Sure. Are you going to handle the open? Or should
Yes.
I do that?
I'll do it. So, why don't we take like 5 minutes or so, and then we'll have let's see, a lot of folks.
Yeah, we'll mention first that this is here. It's going to have a sign there that says "Dollars for Poets," and then it's going to have a couple small honorarium checks for our featured poets, but they're pretty small checks. I got the little mini checkbook, so that's going to be in there. But a few bucks a piece in that bucket is a nice way to, pay tribute to the poets. So please donate generously. It doesn't have anything to do with reading in the open or drinking the wine. It just has to do with fun. Thank you very much. Yes. I didn't mean to cut Jerry off, but I think we're on a break. How's that?
Oh yeah, but I'll be in this. Yeah, that's where I have my inspections. Not activity in the world.
Yeah, well, you know, I only go twice a year.
Oh, that's it? Oh, that's right. It's all coming back.
How did your reading go? I'm surprised you made it.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see you.
Have you been to this place?
I have not. I know it's told me.
How's it going?
Great, great. I'm gonna go see if there's anything I can buy.
Sure. Worth looking. Gotta keep life safe for the thespian community.
I should have told you 30 or 40 years ago.
All right, so got 16 poets. So.
Keep it short.
Yeah.
So like 3 minutes each.
No, when I say that's it. Yeah. Okay. So let's get on with it. Bernard.
Jerry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Aren't you going to go first and do a quick thing? Just do.
I'm sorry. Before the open mic, you'll be the first on the open mic.
Yeah.
But first, me and Michael got to read here.
It's related to the droit de seigneur, which is, of course, a very discredited notion altogether. But yeah, just to get things underway, to set a tone, and the feature readers were more than delightful, enlightening, etc. So I'm just going to read a trio of brief things. This is called Requiem. If I swam in a broth, it was her breath. I plagiarized her miasmic sleep. Her midnight cormorants strolled the seaside, my flesh. She was the fictitious old woman who invented birds, the anvil of my blood, my mother, La Vida. Reading minds. As I asked my pal Pinky, are we gentlemen beyond suspicion or cousins of Cain, doomed to wear shades at midnight, 5 o'clock shadows at noon? The sun is talking a blue streak, but the coffee grounds are coy. The clock loves a circus entombed in geological time. As Pinky responded before making a triple bank shot like a prodigy in his prime, the odds are steep, our time's not long, and only an atheist can read the mind of God. And I'll finish with this, titled, For I Have Sinned. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned and sung. I've written many ill-advised, poorly executed poems. I've combined insincerity, hubris, and aesthetic depravity with overindulgence in adult beverages and absurd show-offy hats. I've made light of the blind squirrels pursuing an acorn and the humble seeking God. I've smirked while cantering on a stallion that was really a broom. When the ghost of good grammar past threatened me with a stick, I pretended to be simple and then slick. May Lorca's hurricane of black doves forgive and forget me. Right. Thank you.
I got a couple of poems here. I have a little homage to Bob Kaufman. I don't know. I wasn't like a personal friend, but he was too much. But anyway, for Bob Kaufman and all the black Jews in the world. To buy Bob Kaufman a drink, I had to take him to Chinatown, because none of the bartenders in North Beach would serve him anymore. He used to pull stunts like walking into the bar and go down the whole length of the bar, quickly drinking everyone's drink, then go duke it out with the cops in an elevator stuck between floors. At that time, the nouveau riche had just arrived in San Francisco, which set the stage for the dismantling of the close-knit neighborhoods where everyone knew each other. For San Francisco was all about its different neighborhoods then. Actually, North Beach is the last neighborhood, a real community of spirit, including the cops who hang out in the cafes and coffee houses with everybody else. Bob Kaufman was a mystery. I once met a fellow who had known him back east when they were in the labor movement. Bob got busted and put in Bellevue Hospital, where they gave him 50, yes, you heard it right, 50 shock treatments. The guy said when Bob was released, he was a mere shadow of himself, completely empty. He was not the same person. But then Bob came out to San Francisco and wrote all that great poetry, maybe the best poetry. When you hear the litany of beat celebrity names, often the name Bob Kaufman is missing, like most of his teeth. He had tragic relationships too, stories of women throwing him down the stairs at his age just for spite. Take care of your poets, America. You need them, even if you don't like them. The last time I saw Bob was on a bus. He was headed for the hospital. I asked him if he needed any money. He said no, but did I have a cigarette? I announced to the whole bus that this man was one of their greatest poets and met with puzzled faces. At the hospital, friends said he was begging them to get him a cigarette, but they said no because they didn't want him to blow up the oxygen tent he was in. As far as I know, his wife Eileen was largely responsible for saving a lot of his poetry, scrawled on cocktail napkins and such, and tossed in the can. At some point, I heard someone was trying to popularize him online, but I think she died. There was a moment when he staged a last desperate comeback, reading at open mics and different poetry events, but you couldn't understand him anymore. His pronunciation was impossible. It was really sad. Like the song says, we shall overcome someday. Okay. Thought I had a glass of wine, but okay. Oh, there it is. This is Pop Satori. Sprawled across my bed when pop goes my head. Baby with a sudden bang so loud my whole bod shook loose. There, in the deepest sense, in its essence, all was but a bodiless blackness in the round, the very picture of emptiness, where you keep your cake and eat it too, where spring jumps in with its wordless wisdom. Everywhere I turn, a miracle, the sleight of ordinary life and everyday affairs, and the saving grace of these immaculate blossoms blooming in my fragrant garden upon awakening from this mirror-like dream. Okay, that's me and Michael. Now we'll get to the open list. And we've got, what was that said, 16 poets or so? Whoa. Okay. And we're calling Bernard, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, here, Bernard. Sorry about that, Bernard.
Thank you. And thanks to the featured readers. Enjoyed your poems very much.
Great stuff.
I worked for 25 years in the Oakland Public Schools, and this poem comes from my experiences there. It's called The Backward No-Look Playground Basketball Shot. Adisha likes to shout. Not a bad shout,
more like a 12-year-old girl's full of life shout. I can hear her all the way across the asphalt playground, as if her voice carries an important message, a message from the other side of Oakland. She is the tallest kid in my class, almost as tall as me. Her voice makes me see things. It's like church on Sunday morning, spirited and confident. I see the ocean bursting into spray on the rocks, on the shore. I see cascading waterfalls in Yosemite Valley when Adisha shouts. When I hear her shout, I love her shout. Adisha shouts is so loud, without looking, I can see her holding a basketball. Hey, Mr. Maxim, what do I get if I make the backwards no-look shout? No, shot. Gold sunlight pierces the basketball hoop. For a moment, my mind's eye is blind. It sees, though, an ancient Mayan ball court under a brilliant Yucatan sky. Adisha turns her back to the basket, holds the ball with arms outstretched, closes her eyes. She lets out a scream and flings the ball over her head. It sails through the air towards the basket, a planet spinning in another galaxy. Everything seems to halt. Wind stops blowing. Children's laughter freezes in their open mouths. Birds hang suspended in the air. A rainbow arc across the sky swishes through the rim of the basket, makes the still chain-linked net hanging from the rim jangle like someone just swatted a tambourine. Adisha runs, smiling, across the playground to where I stand in disbelief. She props her long arms on my shoulders, looks into my eyes. With a loud, sassy voice, she says, "Well, what do I get for that, Mr. Maxim?" I know I better come up with something good. Without thinking, I reply, "No homework for the rest of the school year." Adisha drops the ball in my hands, spirits and sprints through a graceful playground, and I see Wilma Rudolph, 1962 Olympics. "No homework," she screams. "No homework, no homework." She knows I have a smile on my face, though she doesn't stop once to look back at me.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you.
That's it.
Wonderful.
Okay, Brett Benson.
Hey guys, if you're interested, Kim Shuck hosts the Zoom version of this, the second and fourth Monday of every month. This Monday will be happening. I'm your tech person. It's on the website if you want to check it out. All right.
Two people just messaged me earlier to tell me that they were watching this on Zoom.
Oh, cool. Also on YouTube, Facebook. He's got it everywhere, so it's awesome. All right. Wildlands of Paradisia. Thou art descended from the galaxy above, golden rivers of cosmic energy and moon rock swimming down my illustrious veins. The eons old wisdom in flight flowing as all good things move upon the sun's kiss rejuvenating, the hope I never knew I would miss. And to the serene spirit, the one who never abandoned me, yet allowed for a sight to experience and see, galaxies opening in my weary heart, of no design and minuscule material, yet infinite and purely attained essence. And thus we have traveled across many universes beyond measure and come upon the wild lands of Paradisia. O maker of steady, resilient ground fortified by thy perfect hand, my soul cries for picturesque sound. To know hope rising on my bones began to stand. You made me, you sent me to seek and know, to be the definition. Galaxies opening the caverns within, never explored. For sages and gurus, all who attained the way, saw bits of light emerging en route to coming upon a flawless light star, dampened most severely by the thoughts drifting away from the source. The eye is but an imaginary thing, a note human and fair. To all future chorus we sing, holding all beauty thy sublime soul can bear. Upon any elixir in nature's spring, to all living beings my tender nature care. And thus we are dying, but thus we are living. Not in the drowning of cruelest despair, but of dreams of peace and all the universal freedom that might be granted, maybe. To any visitor of Paradisia, of stardust, of moon rock, and forever beyond, what can be measured? Good luck. I'll meet you there.
Okay, Chris Toomey, coming up.
I can do the mic. I don't know if I can or not. I might need a little help. Is it just loosen and drop?
I suppose.
Yeah. Cool. Oops.
If you need help,
I think I'm good. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for having me. This looks like a great crowd. It sounds like a great crowd. Lots of good stuff to listen to. Thank you.
can you move that mic closer to you?
Closer? Is that better?
Let me come take a look and see what-
So I'm sorry about the mask. I have like.
Just a minute till I check the mic. It might be pointed the wrong way or something.
Okay.
It might be pointed at the audience or something. Let's see. Yeah, it just got turned around in the process. Unless it points at you, it's not going to do any good.
Oh, interesting.
Well, yeah, it's
Oh,
one of
that's
those
the right way.
things.
Okay.
One of those things.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Sure.
Let's see. So I was looking through.
Okay, so there's 14 more poets. So
Yes, so I'll hurry it along. So they're short ones. I'll start with, hey, Mom. Would I could have been your lover for just a moment. Time enough to know you as apart from me. See you once through grown-up eyes, not as your little boy or growing son, who so blindly couldn't see enough of you, your sorrow, joy, and anger. I'd settle for dear friend, I guess, from whom you'd borrow money or sometimes courage, with whom you'd share a confidence, a happy story, an ill-contained desire, or a moment of triumph. Like your first night at the opera, singing for the well-to-do, or your first day out on the job, free from wifely custom that would have you live unknown and judged as dumb. You were lost to me before we had a chance for our post-parental life, before I could get to know you as I might a real pal, talking movies, drinking booze, dressing up for holidays. I could have had you laughing, as you were so fond of doing. You could have said how brave I was to live just as I had wished.
Okay, thank you.
That's it? One more?
That's it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you all very much.
Next is
gonna surrender my time because I didn't bring anything, and there were people here who brought their work to.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay,
thank
Yolanda,
you. I'll bring
thank you.
something next time.
Okay, Yolanda Katsalko?
Somebody help me with the knife?
Yeah, I'll help you with the knife.
Can you help me with the knife?
Yeah,
I don't know how to
for
do
sure, for sure. Go on now, figure out where it needs to be. All right. You gonna stand?
Yeah, I'm
All
gonna
right.
stand.
Excellent. Let's do it here. Is that all right? It's not blocking anybody's view of her face. All right. That's gonna be good. Let me go to the other end of the room, please.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Where are you from, dear?
Mexico. My last name is Aztec. This poem is in memory of Jack Hirschman.
Oh, nice.
July 2021. While at a doctor's appointment, a golden beam told me to tell my doctor the truth. My twin daughters, born June 25, 1984. Sex, love. 2. They get angry when a black poet reads a poem about U.S. military who killed the dark Iraqis during Operation Desert Storm. I feel their anger overtaking the inside of my body, anger at the dark victims. They get angry when they say that a black poet accusing the American government who killed the dark Viet Cong. It is a poem about cultural genocide. This country has inflicted upon peoples of colors in third world countries. The eyesight, no big deal because I had cataract eye surgery on both eyes, which improved my vision. Vision, a look to a future, imagined, hoped for, fought for. The concept is the concept of right is secondary to aggressor. You, Jack Hirschman, wrote about Braille. You wrote truth to power. You wrote with words in so many languages that people learn the words. Through your poetry, your arcanes. You were my shield. You were our woman of all colors, of all nationalities shield. Especially the poor women, the drug addicted, the prostituted. You were our hero. May I have the courage, the bravery, the honesty you express in your words. You who praised the laugh groups of America for a People's Red Party. You will never be forgotten. By the way, I'm trying to get my clinic to give me psychiatric help because I've told them I sense that white supremacy around me and I don't know how to deal with it.
White supremacy?
Yeah.
I think it's a genetic thing.
No, it's not genetic.
It's a biological thing.
It's from what I've been taught in university and when I was beaten up in Mexico.
What?
It's what I've been taught in university when I was beaten up in Mexico.
When you were in Mexico?
I went back to Mexico. Somebody else needs to.
Yeah, well.
No, it's not genetic, so.
No, well, it's also not geographical or not this
it's
or.
It's also political, sir.
Yeah, well, of course.
Division.
Of course.
Excellent. So I'll just let again. The next part.
All right.
Thanks, Yolanda.
Okay. Terry or Jerry? No,
Is there a Terry or a Jerry?
Nenrad?
Oh, Terry.
Terry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see where that lands for you.
Oh yeah, it's good.
I'm not too stable, so.
Yeah, use that. No,
I broke my hip.
yeah,
Okay.
be careful about using that because it'll tip. But if you put a hand here,
Can I
it'll be pretty good.
have it
You're gonna
lower?
sit. Hold on there.
Hi, everybody.
Hold on a second.
I love your work.
All right.
This is
That's probably going to be okay.
okay.
Because, yeah.
Baptism by music. I wrote this for okay. Baptism by music. Is that better? Yeah.
Can
This.
you move the bench a little bit so you don't have to fall off the bench while you're reading?
Oh, I won't.
All right.
This I wrote for a friend who's no longer on this planet. Song. It's what keeps our souls from drowning. It washes over us like a tsunami submerging us deeper, deeper into its cultural eddy, catching us in harmonic riptide. Sounds become our heartbeats. Words become a lifeboat. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. We swim in the gulf of recognition, cleansing words, washing away doubt. We come the music, we are saved. The next one was written after the election when Trump was elected, and it wasn't good. So, the terrain is cold. Communication lines are down. Colors, creeds, differences, scientific beliefs, diversity cataloged. Brains are frozen. Who's to dictate what to think? Humans faking sleep in their lairs. Afraid to speak, paralyzed to stand. So it happens. Moral graves are open. Snow on the ground, no more spring. Summer gone, fall is over. Winter seems forever. Communication lines are down. October 1st, past. October past. This is about the wildfires we had. And it's a short poem, but it's what was left behind in my brain. October past. Burning fires on a moonless night. Sky ablaze in glitter, red with lust. The fires rage on. Stands of oak and aspen smolder. Leave ash skeletons, Halloween costumes on an October night. The sky opens, pours the gift of rain. Ashes and dead embers now carpet the earth. Seeds buried beneath the ground on nature's cue burst open. Regrowth begins, a forest reborn. Have you had enough?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Do you want one more? What?
Well, we've got 15 poets here.
Okay, well, that's it.
Okay.
Quit. You really liked it?
Okay, what is your name? I'll check for you. Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, Kate Russell? Kate Russell.
So we want to put that up again.
Yes, please.
Sorry, great. Whoops, sorry. So let's see.
All I have to do is...
Well, I was going to try, but...
That's okay. That's okay. That's probably going to be about right.
Good. Thanks.
Sounds like, why is it something wanting to do that anyway? What's that about?
Why does that name sound so familiar? Is there a famous Kate Russell?
There's a famous Jane Russell.
Hold on. We got a little ringing here. I don't want
Sorry.
to suddenly become a big screeching.
Okay.
Yeah, and you don't want me to be very close to
No,
it.
it's a very dynamic mic, I can tell.
Yeah, I think I need to turn it down. I turned it pretty high up for
Okay.
Terry. I think that's what
Okay.
it is. So wait till I get to the end of the room.
Okay.
And then you don't need to be closer than a foot.
Can you hear me okay?
Hold on. Just wait a minute. Okay, that's so. Okay, try it now.
Hello, San Francisco.
Now, wait a minute. We actually also have to get you on camera.
Oh.
A bit higher than the front of it. So there are these considerations.
Thank you.
Okay. You know what? I think we're probably good.
Okay, thank you. This one's called Astronaut Monkeys. We, the astronaut monkeys, endure leaps and plateaus, ride rockets of moments, wake up one morning, build pyramids to the sun. Aliens inbred with primates. Life evolved naturally by itself. Before then, there was mystery. There was mystery before then. Fathom fire to cook food, then carve monuments, an evolutionary progress, no phases between, hunting and gathering, then the ziggurats. Arisen up to what? There was mystery before. Before mystery, there was. Survive the flood sphinx, write your symbolic record of the antediluvian society predating our humanity. Listen to ancestors speak in clay and silent stone walls. We cannot prove civilization. It came from the mystery before. From before the mystery, it came. Who seeded mankind's mind? Dig in desert sandbox to seek, scour sky grid points to know, planets like Earth out there. Explain our ignorance to me. We learn, adapt, but do not grow, littered with mistaken history. There is inside mystery, outside. Outside, there is mystery inside. Ignore crazy conspiracy theories. The Dogons and Zechariah had knowledge confused in their filters of absorption. By the way, monkey lovers, our telescopes track stars. We lost so much in dark ages. There was a light of mystery before. Before the light, there was mystery. Sages gifted us mathematics, astronomical omens from the east. Sumerians had it beforehand. The infamous Chaldean alchemy, Babylonian slave mastery, seeded empirical Christians. How did we fall so far from the majestic mystery before the mystery was majestic? Return your white ring complex, take it back to the first square, roll the bones in our ancient game where golden chains link us to seeds piled by distant ancestors. They germinate now in soiled hearts. Close your jaded eyes and hear the mystery from before sings, a song from before the mystery. Connect to its power source, you meek monkey astronauts. Make your pudding proof, our buried ancestral home from a time before time. Cycle through alpha to omega, learn scattered language between. Before the mystery speaks in silence, silence speaks in the mystery before.
Oh, thanks everybody. I could read. I could read two or three, but I'll start with this one, and if I have time, I'll read the other recent one that I wrote.
Keep it short.
Sure. This one's called The Compass. At perigee remains apprehension that in the closest orbits a danger lingers between suspended. And in the friction of such crossing paths, a withering envelops. That entangles even distant Abidjan, flying ever on the asterism's wings. And Chrysor draws the blade, and Epsilon flees in startled flight toward Hippocrene for solace and compassion for the falling Bellerophon, desirous in such infamy. For in that closeness, often enmity, the night sky still and calm, always moving as one view, of components that rely on friends and strangers to belong. Zodiacos Kyklos, all in the dark forest, growing dim, as apricity rounds the bend, reunited in the morning birdsong, the word within a language. That unifies the choir of far-flung battles raging inside, knowing that surfaces of bodies on the spin are simply useful shells of permeable withins. Stardust composes music that dwells between the ears, reminding us that passion has no master in each vast universe embraced.
Milo Johansson? Milo Johnson.
Hey everybody. About 5 years ago, I was lucky to take a class with Tongo Ison Martin, and I wrote this in class. I'm putting my finger up the ass of America. This is not a sexual procedure. I wear gloves. I get a whole hand in. I go farther up and away. And now I have my whole head way up inside the ass of America. Here, there is no color. But the darkness is so blinding bright, it might as well be white. Thank you.
Okay, Kevin Landucci. Kevin Landucci.
Going so fast. You're not impressed. Okay. Great. Hi, this is called Kill Your Darlings. Sorry. All right. The night before the concert, I made a sign that said, "Would it be impossible to sell me your extra ticket? Patti Smith is the reason I cut my hair this way." On the way to the show, I panicked and bought a ticket off Craigslist for $10. I met a couple of poets there, and we nerded out to Patti doing covers of Ginsberg and Kerouac and Beckett, and I swear to God, she looked right at me during the show, pointed. I could be Robert, his ghost, or cousin, maybe. None of the poets or artists wanted to go with me to get a drink afterward, so the ragtag crew walked to the bus stop. I've been worshiping angry women for... How old am I? 31. I've been worshiping angry women for 31 years, but watching the angry witch of punk rock must have got me hot and bothered because a furrowed brow with shoulders back and a severe look swiftly crossed the bus stop crosswalk before me, and I was hypnotized. Her blue eyes were the only soft thing about her, and no bra, nipple rings, and dirty white sneakers just like mine. She was one car over on the train next to mine, but I didn't talk to her. But seeing her hot, angry face after watching Patti Smith's hot, angry face all day made me want to try a hot, angry face, so I did. And my friend looked at me, he said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I have resting bitch face." And he said, in one of my acting classes, they told me I have resting trauma face. And I said, "I think that's my spirit animal." When she got off at the same bus stop as me, I had to ask, "So did you go for Bob or for Patty?" I heard a German accent now. The closest I've been to German sex is through the screen of a laptop. But according to my research, Germans are very good at sex. We walked together to an open mic at Madrone Art Bar in Divisadero, and I read a story about a French girl whom I tie up for cunnilingus. While the German was in the bathroom, I wrote a story of how the rest of our night was going to go. Before it happened, I decided, this is genius. Everything went perfectly. Walking to my apartment, I say, I'm not looking for a one-night stand, which I thought was also genius. And she said, "We're not having sex tonight." And I was like, I didn't even hear her because that wasn't in my story. But she says it again, and I look at her, and then she said, "I'm on my period." And I was like, oh, no, but that wasn't in the plan. And she was like, "What was the plan?" And I was like, "I was going to tie you up and eat you out from behind, and I don't know." She's like, "Well, I like that. Do you have rope?" And I said, I didn't even hear her because it wasn't what my ears were looking for. She said, you could just stick it in my ass. And since, again, it wasn't in my perfect little story, I didn't even hear it. Louis C.K. came up and she said, you could jack off in front of me, but here I am with my cute little story with Cunnilingus as the star of the show, but anal and masturbation can't even get a bit part. I can't even hear anything she says. I do hear her when she says, hey, who wrote Merde on your newspaper box? I don't hear that one because I don't want to tell her, the French girl that I wrote the story about. Don't worry, you're going to be in the next one. If you don't kill your darlings, they might kill a better story than the one you wrote. Thanks.
Okay.
We'll get you a soapbox.
Just get me a soapbox. I'm shrinking. Okay.
Look, you're growing. There you go.
On arrival. I'm Maltese. This is about Malta. Uncapped sound frequencies not heard by humans cross land and sea before sucked up in stone-cold air-conditioned airport. Bones chilled dry, dense heat swats insects just to feel a breeze. Looking for a sign in Arabic script, Malti or English, that says exit. Step out into Celsius low shimmer. Bus stop for shade made from quarries. Everything springs from limestone here. I adjust my mask and wait. Cold-blooded turtles scoot about, heated double entendre, an interim of life's grace period. I catch my breath. The rock grew from a salty sea. She was named Malta, Mele meaning honeybees. They live on the island. Her ancient temples look like her people. Smooth, pliable stone, olive-skinned, seasoned islanders toil the dry, parched soil, growing prickly pears by salt flats. Lampuki pie, a favorite fish dish, sailing the tip of a gentle wave, surrounded by crystal clear blue. I walk on water here. Summer or winter, we are at home. Everyone has their part, cooking or cleaning up after. We laugh and plunge into the warm Mediterranean waters. Winter's charm rests in sunshine's mild breeze without the crowds or heat. No one goes hungry, instead we overeat. Friends visit after lunch bringing sweets. Sunday is the worst when stomachs burst. Grandfather makes us laugh. He eats the most and says it's best to eat now because if we get sick, we won't want to. After dishes are done, there's talk of supper's menu, prepared rabbit raised for food. Ancient recipes nurture our collective soul. Thank you.
And the next, the actor.
This was written by Mr. Ishmael Reed.
Just that.
Hey, young man, you want to buy a painting? No, huh? All right. Well, can you spare $1? I haven't eaten breakfast, dinner, or lunch for that matter. Yeah, I'm Jack Brooks. What of it? What happened? Abstract expressionism went out of style. That's what happened. We were hit by a tsunami of pop art, graffiti art,
conceptual art, installation art, animation, and other upstarts. People wanted paintings with human figures in them again. Our world began to crumble on Halloween, October 31st, 1962. We abstract painters got tricked and treated. It was the very first show of the original pop artists, including Warhol, Lichtenstein, Siegel, and Indiana. The homophobic abstract expressionists were done. It so outraged and offended the old guard abstract expressionists, de Kooning, Rothko, Motherwell, etc., that they all resigned from the Janus Gallery in protest. The macho types who hung out at the Cedar Bar, drank and sometimes fought all night. And as Fielding Dawson put it, when the bars closed at 4 a.m., look for a chick to take home. Since we copied everything they did, we were put out of business too. Abstract expressionism was the only way that the white galleries would accept us. Our only ticket to the big time. Now, what were we supposed to do? Yeah, a lot of us got our start doing political art, but then there was a backlash on political art. Museums stopped displaying us, collectors stopped buying us. We were in a battle royale over which of us would be accepted. It was an early form of black-on-black crime. It was like the hip and cool version of the auction block. In New York, to be a successful black artist, writer, or playwright, you need a white individual or organization to sponsor you. So, just as we settled in with abstract expressionism, these white folks changed up again on us. With no warning, they started pushing this department store art. Andy Warhol and all of these people who'd learned their techniques working at Macy's and Gimbel's. Yeah, there was room for a few black abstract expressionists, people who sold out. But the rest of us were forgotten. Adding to that, minimalism started taking over as soon as we got pop art figured out. It's hard to keep up with these white folks. So when the Whitney Museum announced that they were going to do a black show, I felt that we had arrived. Yeah, finally. Only thing, Mr. Gray called and said that the black painters were going to boycott the show because it was curated by a white person who didn't know our culture. A lot of black painters, a lot, besides me, heeded Oliver's demand and withdrew their paintings. Some didn't. And they crossed our picket line. Guess who was among those who crossed the picket line? Mr. Gray. He just about ran into the building when he saw me. He called for us to join a boycott that he violated. He wanted to be at the top of the heap, you see. As a result of his treachery, Oliver Gray's reputation soared. With the rest of us out of the way, boy, was I mad. I went to his loft. We got into a fierce argument. After that, he disappeared, never to be heard from again. At the height of his success, he disappeared because I killed him.
Thank you very much.
Anybody want to buy a painting? Thank you. They on a true story, by the way.
Hey, Duncan Dobson, is it?
All right, where are you going to be? Careful, careful, careful. We're going to use the mic because it's streamed out, and that's what we do.
You can raise it up a little bit.
All right, I'll do that for
Thank you,
sure.
sir.
I can do that for you. Absolutely.
Of course.
About like that.
Hi, folks. I don't use a microphone much, so I don't really know how to use these things. But, yeah. This is hot off the presses. I've been producing some books lately, and this one's called Fried Skin, a tribute to the wide variety of chicharrones found in the city of South San Francisco, California. It's mostly photos. I went around and took a lot of photos of the different types of pork rinds you can get in South San Francisco. There's this one place, if you haven't checked out La Tapatia in South San Francisco on Grand, it's a great place. And you can see they just pile them up in the case there. But I'll just read you the short introduction. Just a few paragraphs. It's actually prose, not poetry, but don't tell anyone. All right. I got you, man. In South San Francisco, the industrial city, numerous cultures and races merge and mix. As it happens, most of the relevant cultures are not averse to eating pork, pig, swine. Rather, they make a point of it and use every last scrap of the hapless porker. Thus the chicharron, deep-fried pigskin. There is no genius in frying pigskin. It is a natural discovery of every culture that eats the pig. In South San Francisco, the major cultures in question are Hispanic, Filipino, American, and Chinese. Each has its own tradition, but all can be found side by side in South City, living in peace. Make no mistake, there's an American tradition of pork cracklins. 4505 is the best representative we have here, but I think the tradition is more prominent in the American South. This book is not intended as encouragement to eat pork rinds. Pork rinds are not good for you, and no one should eat them ever. Please consult your dietitian before making any lifestyle changes. If you want it, $15. And then if I have a minute, I'll read a rhyming poem from my own book of poetry here, so it'll be actual poetry. But just one. Okay, it's called A Bit of the Old Abdur Rahim. You are an apostrophe that fills in a space for me. You are a shorthand for what I don't understand. You are an overflow of what I want to know. You are geometry. You are hyperbole. You are my morning fix of DJ mix, music in line with a greater design. You aren't a ploy to destroy. You're not coy. You're selling me on what I can't see. You're telling me what is meant to be. Few men can stay on the straight, narrow way. We tend to stray. Thanks, guys. Got a few other books, too.
Joe Flynn. Is that right?
Well, I have a couple poems. And if possible, I'd like to recite a poem, but depending on time. The first one is called Hunger. As if the yolk that dripped down the sheer side of this morning's egg and toast made a sudden retreat and returned to its position from before the first bite. Soft fog, pale yellow in the sun, melts its way back over the ridge. I don't need to say I to let you know that I am hungry. I hope the image was enough. The shingled roofs, the flat-top houses, apartment buildings, they're all piled up and cascading down hills into a crowded plain. City. Where I know for certain a bus or train has stopped and someone is stepping on and another is stepping off, and the one who is just now getting settled into his seat heads north, and the other jumps into a heap of people, stalling here, scooting there, to the left, then right, dodging something, until he cuts a clear path out of the crowd. And I'm sure if he's anything like me, he'll maybe pass down a slow street, peer into windows where someone might be reading a newspaper, watching a TV show, or sitting down for a meal. He's making his way to a park. There will be food and drink. Music will play loudly. And men and lovers will lay half naked in the sun. So it might be best to come to terms here. Hunger, since we have such affection for pain, is the trick of love. So that's that one. The next one is Self-Portrait as Frida Kahlo. In the studio of pain, where we refine ourselves, I too glance sidewise at the world. The colors brighten against pearl skies. The paints, when dried, still beam. Since even I must show myself what is true. And here, in the bathroom mirror, I look over you and stare into dark eyes that have known compassion. I swallow your vision, medicine. I accept your gift, this strand of thorns, and lace it around my neck, a holy medal. Okay, then one very short one called April. After the rain stopped, hail, April is violent. But then, soft light mollified the early evening, reflected off your gold-framed glasses, enveloping you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And Buford Putin. Buford.
Sorry.
What?
Big ass feet. This is called Women. Charles Bukowski wrote a funny yet somewhat poignant book about the failure to communicate in his way with girlfriends. I believe it was. I've read it several times. Okay. This is called Brother-in-Law Law and Other Family. The best of all was a guy named Jim. As far as I know, the only one who's still living, except for the man who's been the most recent. I hardly knew it all, but as far as I know, is a good fellow. The worst of the bunch is also a guy named Jim, who shot and killed a man in a redneck bar in Mobile, Alabama, where my mother, also my other siblings, and I all grew up. The best of the Mobile bunch
was Jim. And he wasn't really a Southerner. That was the catch. He grew up in New York, so that gave him a little bit of humanity. That's my ad-libbing, sorry. The real best had to be my mother, Jean, who gave her kids like who had a lot of kids, actually had 6. She was generous almost to a fault, and the description she had was that she liked having human beings, smoked cigarettes until they ruined her health, and eventually a period of several decades died at 75. My ex-wife defended this practice as being feminist. I guess, the thing about, women for a while weren't encouraged to smoke. And they used it as an anti-male thing, which unfortunately, that's the way it kind of turned out. I've gone off on a tangent, however, and will try to get back on. My mother-in-law, who didn't smoke, and who was a mess anyway, from not just because she was my mother-in-law, but she had real neurotic problems. It seems I'm pulling. Now let me say something about my father, and I won't be too much longer. I'm getting a little bit I'm a little nervous. I haven't read in a while. He was a resentful child under the thumb of a tough stepdad. It lasted forever. Though God knows he held his kids in high esteem, except that one time he was, I came along with my mostly high expectations of my mother. There's my mother again. And the care of the other young siblings in the old homestead. Mostly, I understand how complicated and difficult families can be. All right. Thanks. Oh, there's that. I better not go off without that. I write about things too personal, so I get nervous about it. That's my excuse.
Jane Radis.
You forgot a page there, Beaver.
Oh, yeah. That's important. I assume.
Jane Radis?
All right. Thank you. Jane.
Passing
Your
here.
work is brilliant, Jane.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay.
Hold on. Hold on.
All right.
Kind of like, let's do like that.
All right. Just 2 poems here. Shooting stars. The stars are out and they might leave without us. The moon might leave without us on the earth dallying and slow. The stars might leave without us and go to another solar system. They're tired of us ruining their atmosphere. They might leave without us, leave us in a dark stage on a shadowy earth. We had taken them for granted, and they just took off. And one more. Thank you. Thank you. The invention of clouds. I thought I'd invented clouds, but it turns out someone had done it a long time ago. Was he Greek? Was he God? Who is he anyway? I'd known I was a god, but not the same one. A hot one, but only in my head. It's over my head what's going on. It's written in the clouds what's happening. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for coming, everybody. See you next month. Oh, I'm sorry, someone else?
Oh, yeah, there's one more.
Who is often known as the last poet.
Okay, not too long, please.
Which is, oh, of course not. Of course not. Hello, everyone. My name is August Bleed. I represent Bleed.
3 minutes. You represent 3 minutes.
Okay, I understand.
All right.
I'm sorry, but I wanted to introduce our late summer line of Rainier Maria Rilke toilet brushes. If you're interested, you can come see me after the show. They were made by another serial character of ours, Mr. A.F. Wright. I'm Mr. August Bleed. I am sick of orbiting the sad room. The weeks seem painted on. He ignores me. Instead, his naked back thaws. Lumps of muscle pop out like a rash. He bends toward the easel. Straddling the bare floor, arches hips and hands towards his imagination. In black strokes, more intimate than those he saves from my skin. The stark white canvas becomes the longest night I've ever known. The night is almost real. A new bitter planet aches into being. See it? There in the corner? Its tiny, wet moon. If Jerry doesn't kill me. Something is crumbling through the cake soil of my life. This black thing grows out of my soul. Weeds spasm in the wind. This moment isn't forever. Not even night can quiet the hypnotic glistening of the spiraling concertina wire. Outside my window, the moon is a huge X-ray, a lung riddled with splotches. The tower lights shine down on the courtyard. A night lamp with a 79,000 watt bulb. It keeps my eyes from the mountains. and focus sharply on the weeds.
Hey, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you for allowing me 3:20 or 3:30. I appreciate it.